Behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.
Make sure to sit back and relax and grab a drink or a snack if you want, because I'm going to be answering some juicy questions that I asked over on my Instagram. I told you guys to tell me any questions that you're afraid to ask, and you guys responded with some, so I'm going to answer a few today, and it's going to get very, very juicy, so make sure to sit down, keep watching. So these kind of questions are very normalised, and of course some people are very, very anxious to ask them. So I'm going to be doing it today so you don't have to. These are just going to be my honest answers to the questions that I've got, and I'm just going to be rolling them off my tongue, whatever comes to my head. So I hope you do enjoy. Let's answer the first question. First question is right person, wrong time a real thing? Because I like a boy, but it don't feel right now. Right person, wrong time is definitely a real thing. I've been in that situation so many times with a guy, and it feels shit. It basically feels really shit. You still have your whole life ahead of you, so there's no rush to be with a boy. If the timing is right, then that's a different story, and if the person feels mutual with the way that you're feeling, then it's definitely okay to go ahead and proceed with that relationship and make it go further. But right person, wrong time is a hard one, as it is a tricky thing, and it's really difficult to handle when you're in that situation, but there are ways around it. If you two keep talking every day, if that's something you guys want to do, then maybe you can build on from that. It's all about who the person is, who you are as an individual as well. I'm not really sure how else I can answer that one. How do I know if a guy is just using me for sex? What I think with this one is focus on what time of night that they're like messaging you. Are they messaging you during the day, or are they messaging you at night when they're all alone? Are they messaging you when they're with their friends? All those kind of things you've got to keep an eye out for, and basically just the way they are around you as well. Their body language says a lot. Body language with a guy is completely different to a woman, so if his body language is as if, like, I don't know, maybe he's looking you up and down, he's only focusing on one part of your body rather than getting to know you. He wants to know, say for example, your favourite position, stuff like that. Then maybe he is using you for sex, and you definitely deserve better. My ex said he's changed and wants another chance. What should I do? Okay, my personal opinion on this is it depends on what your ex done and you, the kind of person he is, because of course you know the kind of person that your ex is, and he knows the kind of person he is. If he's claimed he's changed and you're that kind of person that doesn't mind giving another chance, then that's absolutely fine. But if he continues the way he is, like how he was before, then I definitely suggest moving on from him, because you deserve so much better, girl. And to be honest, an ex is an ex for a reason as well, and I stand by that. But if he claims he's changed, I guess the only way you could try and find that out is if you gave him another chance. But don't keep giving chances, because then they believe that they can keep doing whatever they're doing to you, and it's really not okay. So give them the benefit of the doubt if that's something you want to do, but if he's just proven himself that he hasn't changed, then don't keep giving another chance to him, because he'll just feel like he can treat you however he wants and that he's in control of you basically, and you don't want that. You want to be your own person and you want to be in control of yourself. Why can't I squirt? Sorry if this is weird. Firstly, it's not weird, it's a very normalised thing, it is very natural. Some girls, they will be able to squirt, other girls would just orgasm and no liquid comes out. It's very, very normal either way. I think it's all about practice as well. If you practice on yourself first, and then usually when you're sexual, intimate with your partner, I think it just goes on from there really. I think it's all just natural, and it will happen if it happens. It's not weird at all though. It's absolutely normal, and it's fine, and it's natural. So don't ever be afraid if you can't squirt, because it will come in time. How can I prevent my period leaking out when in public? Some people wear tampons, but I don't like them. Personal preference is pads for me. I find pads are much more comfortable, because when you're walking around, a tampon, when it's like wedged right up there, it can actually get really uncomfortable, and when you're sat down and stuff, it can get uncomfortable. But there are tutorials and ways so that you can learn to insert a tampon if that's your preference. Don't wear tight clothes, because tight clothing can actually trigger it and make you leak more. Also avoid having hot baths and stuff, because believe it or not, a hot bath, as much as it can relieve it, it can also make it worse. I'm not sure how to describe it, but it basically it affects the blood and it makes it feel like much more worse, and it will leak a lot more. And prevent wearing clothes as well that are like light coloured clothes where you can see that it's visible. But if your period leaks out in public, don't be ashamed of it either, because it's natural and you're probably not the only girl that's ever had that happen to her before. So you don't have to feel worried about that at all. And surround yourself around supportive people as well that aren't going to judge you if that were to happen, because I know damn well that it's happened to me plenty of times and I felt so embarrassed. But around the right people, it actually was fine for me. And yeah, I felt so embarrassed at the time, but now I'm looking back at it, I had such supportive friends. Like, they helped me out, they got me to a closest bathroom, and I cleaned myself up and I was fine, you know. Also, if you know you're heavy on your period and you have to go out, I'd recommend carrying a spare like pair of bottoms or a spare pair of knickers as well, because that would generally help if that was a situation that you got yourself into. Next question, how do I deal with girls bullying me? First of all, I'm really sorry that you're going through this, and I really hope that it does get better for you. When I was bullied in school, I basically just held my head up high and I just carried on with what I was doing. Like, in school, if this is what you're on about, in school or social media, that's completely different situations. Over social media, it's just best to block and ignore and avoid conflict, because you don't want to keep escalating a situation and making it worse, even if you're not the culprit and you're not the one that's to blame and it's them. They're just constantly bullying you and you haven't done anything wrong. My highest suggestion and the best suggestion is to definitely just block, delete, remove. You don't need toxic people in your life. You just want to remain being yourself and learn to love yourself as well, because they're only probably bullying you because they're insecure about something like to do with themselves. So honestly, it's probably not even you. You have no worries. But to deal with girls bullying you in school, don't let yourself be an easy target. I know that's easier said than done, and that's coming from a girl myself who lets myself be an easy target sometimes. But try and not make yourself be an easy target, because that's when they will generally go ahead and do it. Also, be yourself 100% no matter what. Never change for anyone, even if you are being bullied. Yeah, hopefully that helps. I'm scared to come out to my parents in case they judge me. I've got a few mates that have come out to their parents and have been so nervous about it, and I say to them, like, if you've got supportive parents, it's so much easier. And if you feel like it's hard telling them in person, maybe write it down and give it to them in a letter, maybe. I know it sounds really silly, but it's actually going to benefit you, because if you're someone that struggles talking to your parents, you don't have a good bond with your parents, it could be easier doing that. Or maybe talking to yourself in the mirror of how you would say it to your parents, that might help as well. And just note down as well how you'd say it, because it's just so much easier rather than just going straight out with I'm gay or I'm bisexual or whatever. It doesn't matter though. Any like sexuality that you are is completely all normal. Love is love. That's how I see it. And your parents will support you no matter what, because they love you. How do I tell my parents I had sex for the first time? This is a tricky one. I was so nervous to tell my mum when I had sex for the first time. I was shitting it, honestly. But I think the way I done it was, again, it's normalised. People are going to have sex whenever they're ready to. And I just sat down with my mum and I just come straight out with it. I mean, sometimes that's the best thing to do, is just come straight out with it. Other people will seek like help from other people and advice on how to open up to the parents and tell them. If you have a good bond like with your parents, and your parents have a good bond with the sexual partner that you've lost your virginity to, it makes it so much more easier. It makes it 10 times easier, especially if the parents and your partner get along. It just makes it so much more smooth. And yeah, hopefully that answers the question. How to get over a one night stand if he doesn't feel the same way? Okay, so in a one night stand, guys, they see it like they don't get attached as quickly as females, I think. From what I've witnessed and what I've experienced, a guy can easily detach himself from a girl if he just believes it's a one night stand. So I really feel like talking to him is a good idea, because he ain't gonna know you've got feelings unless you do tell him. All he see it as is a one night stand, because that's what he's believed to think it was. So it's very important that you guys talk to each other. You tell him how he feels, and if he doesn't have feelings for you, then it sucks, yeah, but it's not the end of the world. So you can definitely try and find ways to move on from that. it's going to take a lot of time, especially if you have got attached to that person. I know having sex with someone, it can make your feelings like 10 times strong because you feel so close to the person. I know exactly how that feels. When I first lost my virginity, I was so attached to the boy for such a long time, and it took me like ages to get over him. But yeah, I've never done a one night stand though. I don't recommend, but that's something you're into, then that's something you're into. But if he doesn't feel the same way, just move on, girl. Is it a good idea to rebound after a breakup? Definitely not. You need to heal. You need to heal, girl, because if you don't heal, you're moving on with another guy that's ready for a relationship. And, you know, he's probably thinking that you like him as much as he likes you. And it's just going to hurt him in the long run, but it's also going to hurt you as well, because you know deep down that you haven't moved on from your your previous relationship. Definitely focus on getting over the person that you were with first before moving on to someone else. A rebound's never a good idea because it just hurts too much on both sides. Is it normal to go off my partner during sex? This is a really hard question, actually. I think it is normal, yes, because our hormones are completely different to males. Doesn't mean you don't love your partner. Of course you love your partner, but sometimes during sex you can definitely like feel put off. Maybe you're not in the mood for it. Maybe, you know, you got things on your mind. It can all come down to stress. It doesn't mean that you don't love your partner at all, but it just generally could mean that, you know, you're just not in the mood, or you could be stressed. Things could be on your mind. It's all normal. Is it okay to watch porn if I want to learn how to have sex? It's completely normal. I've done it before. I've gone onto porn just to see what it's like and how, you know, how to have sex, because I had no idea what I was doing the first time. You know, I kind of just led there. Like, of course I wanted it, but I just led there. I was like, what do I do? Like, I'm so confused. I then, after my first experience of sex, I did watch porn for a little while, and then I got into a relationship, and yeah, it was kind of, I got into a relationship with the guy that I slept with, but yeah, that was for about a year, and then we broke up. But yeah, I did watch porn for a while because I was very interested on like how to have sex, you know, for my own pleasure, and to know that I'm pleasuring the guy that I'm having sex with as well. I didn't want to feel weird or anything. So yeah, I definitely recommend going on to Pornhub and definitely checking it out, because it teaches you a lot about yourself, your body, and yeah, your reproductive system, really. Is it okay to read a sexual book or watch a sexual movie? If you're in the age consent limit of having sex, then I agree that watching a sexual movie is fine. It's absolutely natural. Reading a sexual book as well, that's absolutely fine. You know, some people like that kind of genre of book, but it's all up to you. Should I tell the guy I'm talking to that I'm a virgin, but he's not a virgin? I'm scared he will judge me. If you feel like he's going to judge you, don't be with him, honestly. Like, that's my honest opinion, because you have to go into a relationship being natural and honest. If you don't go in and you tell him that you've lost your virginity and you generally haven't, then it's going to feel really uncomfortable and strange when you go to like have sex for the first time with him. So definitely be honest from the very start. That's what I highly recommend. Never lie about it, because don't even feel ashamed of it either. You know, you don't have to be in a rush to have sex. It's just because your friends are doesn't mean you have to. So just bear that in mind. I'll do one more question. So the last question, should I be embarrassed to masturbate / touch myself? Never be embarrassed to do that, because honestly guys, you want to feel for your body first before another guy is going to come along and touch you. If you're insecure of your body, then that can be like really hard. But I did see something where someone recommended standing in front of a mirror for 5 minutes and just staring at your body every day, because you start to learn to love your body. All bodies come differently as well. Everyone's got curves, everyone's got flaws, you know, people are insecure. That's absolutely fine, but learn to love yourself and then it'll be so much easier. Masturbation is so normal as well. Like, everyone does it. I've done it a few times, you know, just to get a feel of it. Everyone does it, so never be ashamed of that. Definitely go ahead and try it, and don't feel embarrassed about it either, because it's a very normalised thing and so many people do it. That's everything I'm going to be answering today, but if you are interested in more of these kind of videos, then let me know, because I don't mind sitting down and talking about it, because it's all normalised questions and no one should ever be afraid to ask. Hopefully this did help. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back shortly with another one. Peace.